All right, so we're going to be heading across the hall here. Well, not directly across, because we're going to the bio lab, which is one door down. Okay, so we're going to be going across the hall there, and we're going to be looking at the various slides that we talked about last week. All right, the first one that you're going to make is that wet mount of the letter E that we talked about. Okay, quick review on how that's going to work. All right, you will take your slide, okay, so it'll just be a blank slide. There's a box of them on the front table. Take a blank slide out of there. Okay, I'll put some eyedroppers there as well in kind of a cup of water. Just put some water in an eyedropper. There'll be some newspapers also on that front with some scissors. You need to cut a letter E out of an article. All right, not a headline, out of an article. So we need a really small, lowercase letter E. Cut out just the E. Take that back to your table with the water in the slide and one cover slip. Okay, that's the little plastic squares we were talking about before. Okay, put the letter E on the slide, put a drop of water on it. When it flips over, you'll have to make sure it soaks up the water a little bit, and then make sure that it's the right way up. Okay, so it's right side up on the sheet. Then drop the cover slip on. Okay, so we said you set the slide down on the table. Okay, here's your letter E. Okay, you've got your kind of bubble of water on there. The E is right side up. You set the cover slip, that little plastic piece, at an angle, and then drop it on. When it falls down, it'll squish the water, okay, kind of to all sides, and it'll stick on, right? Just make sure your letter E is still pretty much right side up. As long as it's close, you'll be okay. And then you can look at that under the microscope. Please make sure the cover slip is on before you use the microscope so that you don't get water all over the lenses. All right, everyone with me there? Okay, this one you're probably going to draw on low power. So you might want to write that on the lab sheet that I see no one has out right now. Okay, should probably have that lab sheet. Okay, Grace, you had it out. Okay, get the lab sheet out. Okay, right on there. Low power you're going to draw. Okay, sorry, letter E you're going to draw on low power. Sorry, not low power, scanning power. Not low power, scanning power, sorry. Okay, so that first little short lens with the red band on it. Okay, you don't have to do a detailed lab drawing in the lab today. What are you going to do? You're going to take a picture of it. All right, take a picture of it with your phone. Okay, so you'll have to. That'll probably take a little while the first couple of times, getting the phone oriented the right way against the eyepiece to get the actual image to show up on your screen. Snap a picture of that. Okay, and then you'll do the other ones. So you'll do the amoeba after that, then the paramecium, and then the euglena. All right, so letter E, amoeba, paramecium, euglena. So you're going to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller. All three of these should be drawn as they appear on the high power lens. Okay? Now, you may struggle a little bit with the amoeba on high power because, like we said, it's three-dimensional. You can take a picture of it on low power as well and then kind of use the two pictures to do your lab drawing for that one. Okay? Questions on that part of the procedure? Okay. You should only ever have at your lab table one slide. All right? When you're done with the letter E, you throw the cover slip away, wipe off the slide with a piece of paper towel and put it back in the box. Then grab the amoeba. Take the amoeba back, look at it. Okay? Then bring the amoeba slide back to the front table and so on. Otherwise, what happens is you got a pile of slides on the lab station beside you. You're not paying attention. Swipe, they fall on the floor and break. Okay? If you only have one slide, it's in the microscope and that won't happen. All right, so one microscope slide at a time, please, at your table. Okay, everybody should have the opportunity to focus the microscope. So take turns. Okay, there are enough microscopes there for us to be in like groups of 2. All right, so everybody in partners, and then alternate with your partner who's focusing which thing. So one of you does the letter E, one of you does the amoeba, one does the parent. You know how? Okay, make sure you do it kind of that way so everyone gets a chance to use the microscope. All right, and then when we're done that, okay, we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the lab report, which we kind of started, okay, the other day. The big thing will be the lab drawings. What I'm going to have you guys do, I think, is I thought it over a little bit more, and I think what I want you to do is draw them out on paper, okay, the proper way, then take pictures of them and insert those pictures into your lab report. All right. No, I would prefer that they are actually drawn out in proper lab drawing form, because that is what you would have to do even at university. So that's what we're going to have you do. You can take the picture so that you have something to use when you draw your lab drawing. All right, but let's do it that way, okay, just because that's kind of the expectation that they'll have at the next level. All right, everybody with me there? Okay, so you're still going to insert those pictures electronically into that lab report file. We're not going to hand in any paper to me. Okay. If you want to include the pictures that you took as well, that is also fine. All right, so that you can do that as well, but I do want to see the actual lab drawing proper format in there. All right, let's head across, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the analysis and stuff. All right, so last couple of things here. So you've got the pictures that you took with your phone of all of your specimens. You're going to use those to do your lab drawings. You can include the pictures you took in the lab report as well if you want to. All right, but I still want to see the lab drawings drawn by hand, picture taken of them, and inserted into your document. Everyone with me on that? Okay, we're not going to hand in any paper. Now, if that's something that's going to give you trouble, you'd best try it before the night before, so that if you have trouble with it, you can come into scheduled help and get some help. All right, this is going to be due on, I'm thinking Monday, but I'll double check for sure and let you know on the date. Okay, so if it's something you're having trouble with, try it in the next couple of days so that you have time to get help with it from me. It's not a terribly complex process. Just email the picture to your Isidore mail account, your @isidore.redeemer account. Email it to that, and then it'll be in your Google Drive. You can save it to your Google Drive, and then you can insert it into your document from there. All right, everyone follow me on that? So you're going to do the same thing when you take the pictures of your lab drawings, right? Then you can insert it in. Questions there? All right, so for the analysis, okay, you got 3 analysis questions to do. Okay, we've talked about those before. Okay, number 1, okay, is talking about size, orientation, and general characteristics. It's basically asking you, what did the light do when it went through the lens, and how do you know that? All right, that's why I made such a big deal out of the orientation of the letter E when you started out. All right, and then number 2, describe and explain the steps you took to find and focus your paramecium. Just walk me through what you did. Okay, first I did this, and then I looked at it here, and then I did this, and whatever. Just a set of steps that you followed. Okay, and number 3 has to do with why we added water to the wet mount. Okay, was there a purpose to that, etc. Okay, so think about that. Your conclusion, same as always. Restate your hypothesis, explain why you accept or reject it, and that was about how the microscope worked. So you'll probably talk about question number 1 here in the letter E a little bit. Okay, and then sources of error. Sources of error, guys, you could include as a source of error that you are inexperienced using the microscope. Okay, that's going to give you trouble, and it is beyond your control because you haven't had a lot of opportunity to practice. So you're welcome. There's one. Okay, you got to think up another one. All right. I'm just trying to help you out here. Okay. All right. And then, guys, we already talked about the design and the hypothesis and all of that kind of stuff the last time, so make sure you review. There's 2 podcasts for this lab. There's the pre-lab from last week, and then there's this one. Neither of them are very long. Okay, probably be watching those as you're assembling your lab report before Monday. All right, so let's just say Monday is going to be the day for sure that this will be due. All right, and that'll be what, October 20th? Okay, yep. All righty. Okay, we'll get to it here.